Hello, and welcome back to the woods. And welcome back to a review of a bit of kit I think you might find interesting. But first, tea. Now, those of you who have been with the channel for a while will know that I do like a Mora knife, and why wouldn't anyone? They are a great bit of kit. They're affordable, they're practical, they're good workmanlike tools. So imagine my excitement when I saw they brought out a new range, and this time a full tang version. I know Mora have brought out a full tang version before. Their Garberg knife, which I always thought was probably more of a general outdoor knife, survival type knife, than it was a bushcraft knife. Also, it didn't look very bushcraft. It had the sort of plastic moulded handle and a plastic moulded sheath. Those of us who like bushcraft like all things natural. We like leather sheaths and wooden handles, and this time Mora haven't disappointed. That's right, a wooden handle, and they haven't gone for some exotic hardwood. True to Mora, they've gone for a good workmanlike material. They've gone for ash this time as opposed to birch, and ash has been used for generations as a traditional tool handle material, which from Mora is what you would expect. You would expect something that's good workmanlike. So far, all good. Good steel, good design, good materials. They're using that ash, that traditional handle, etc. So all things good, until I looked at the price. Now, Mora to me have always said quality but affordability, and when they brought out the Garberg, it was a bit more expensive. You were looking at about £100 for a Mora knife, which to me seemed a lot. I've been used to paying, well, 3x3 for a tenner of the 511s, and my little Mora classics, I think I didn't pay anything more than about £15. So it was quite a hike to jump up to the Garberg's prices. So imagine my surprise when I looked at the price of this newer model, and the range starts at, well, I think it was about £140 and went up to about 220, which is an awful lot of money. Now, just so happens that very week that I was somewhat shocked by the price of the new Mora knives, I got an email from a company called Beavercraft. Now, I had heard of Beavercraft before. I'd seen their spoon carving kits over on Amazon. They do like a little Sloyd knife and a crook knife, a little kit, everything you need for spoon carving, and the reviews over there were always very good. They said they were excellent quality and they were very good value for money. I'd also heard that they do a bushcraft knife. Rob Evans, outdoorsman, my mate over in Wales, he'd done a review of them a while ago, and he said, yeah, they're not bad. So I replied to him and said, yeah, I'd be interested in testing this new bushcraft knife. So a few days later in the post, I did indeed get my parcel from the Ukraine, and I opened it up, and it was a fairly plain box, a black coloured box with Beavercraft written on it, and inside what I found was this, and this is the Beavercraft BSH3. Now, bearing in mind I'd been looking at Mora knives with a wooden handle and a blued blade and a leather sheath that were a lot of money, this was what was in my package from Beavercraft. a wooden handle, but this time not ash, this is walnut, and that blued blade. Starting with the blade, well, it's made from carbon steel. They don't actually say which one. They do say it's Rockwell hardened to 60 to 62. The handle material is walnut, and it's a fairly plain handle. There's no sort of major lumps or bumps. You've got this quite elaborate bit on the bottom here with a little bird's beak on the back. No little lanyard tube on there, and a fairly flat profile to it. The blade, well, it's got that 90-degree spine on the back. It's got what looks at first like a Scandi grind, but it's not. It's got a secondary bevel on there that's quite a heavy secondary bevel. The steel is about 2 mil thick, maybe 2.5 mil thick. Holding it all together, you've got these stainless steel bolts in there, which have got a sort of hex key, Allen key type adjustment on them if you need it. Overall, knife not bad. The sheath, quite a well made sheath. You've got a welt running down that side. You've got this quite high neck on it, which protects the handle. You've got a sand brown stud on this side. On the back, you've got a belt loop, and that's also on a dangler. Stitching seemed good. Quality of the rivets, bad. Overall weight, including the sheath, 200 grams. So not particularly heavy, pretty well set up. The interesting thing with it was the price. Not £140, not even £40. It was actually $39 was the price they quoted me, and I've put a link down below to their Amazon page, which would take you over there and you can have a look at this. So my first thought was, well, let's take it out and see what it can do. So I started off with the basics. Thought I'd do a one stick fire, because that involves a bit of battening, so I can split the wood down. Also then carving some feathers and using the ferro rod. So what I thought I'd do is I'd take this out in the field and give it a good test, a realistic test, the sort of things that we would be likely to use this for out in the field. Now, when I took it out of the box, I did notice there was a very small burr on the edge. So what I did was I put it onto a strop just to remove that burr. And when I say a strop, all it was, there was no compound paste or anything involved. It was just a leather belt wrapped around a tree and quickly stropped off just to remove that little burr. And that's the only sharpening I've done to this. So the first test I thought I'd do is a one stick fire. So I took my pruning saw and I cut myself a gnarly old bit of dead standing birch, which I thought I'd use this to split down. So as you can see, no problems at all on the splitting front. It did make a bit of a mess of the batten because this back edge is quite aggressive, that 90-degree spine, and the sort of 2.5mm steel is quite narrow for battening onto. But otherwise, no problem. Didn't break the tip off, didn't snap the blade. So all in all, pretty good. A couple of times I did clip the handle, but no damage to the handle. And overall, after all that battening, the handle is still in place, intact. All the joints are good. So the next thing I thought I'd do is I'll give that edge a test. So I'll make myself the feather sticks out of the bit of wood I've just split. So there you go, feather sticks, no problem at all actually. They shaved up really nice, which, considering the secondary bevel and the non-Scandi edge, I was quite surprised at. It weren't too bad at all to do. Next thing I'll do is put this 90-degree spine to the test, see if I can light that feather stick up. So there you go, no problem on the old lighting up your ferro rod on the back of this blade. That 90-degree spine is very aggressive, and it does cast a very good shower of sparks. So for the next test, well, that was okay for getting your fire going, but what I thought I'd do is find something that I could do that would actually test out its ability to carve, because that's what we do in bushcraft. We do a lot of carving. So what I came up with was, well, a tri-stick. That's what I'm out here today doing. I've done a few other bits and pieces with it as well, but a tri-stick, it tests out all those cuts you're likely to be doing. So I've rounded the top off, I've put a little 7 cut in there, and I've also put a little ring on there, a bird's beak, one of the little butterfly crosses, a saddle cut. This is one of those ones where you shave through both sides and then poke the hole through. And then at this end I've put a chisel point, and there's a few more that I will probably do with it. And it didn't do bad with these, not too bad at all. So, as I say, especially considering that it's not actually a Scandi grind. So I know what you want to know. Is it any good? Well, the knife, I think, is very good. It's probably more suited to general camp and outdoor stuff than it is bushcraft. I did notice all the descriptions actually describe it as just that. The way the blade geometry set up and the grind is more suited to general purpose tasks as a sort of robust outdoor knife. It performed exceptionally well. The handle, although very plain, is very comfortable in use. The blade is strong, sharp, at 90-degree spine is excellent. Overall, knife not bad. The sheath fits very well. It is only available as a right-handed one, I did note, which, as I'm a left-hander, did find that a little annoying. Most of the sheaths that I prefer tend to be ambidextrous. A lot of the reviews that I saw online said the quality of the sheath was excellent. I don't know whether I would agree with that. The stitching's very good, the design's very good. The rivets on the back, they could do with being sewn as well. As I said, stitching great. My one major area of concern is it's a bit thin. I would probably go for leather that's about 1 millimetre thicker. My worry is that as you put it in, that there is a possibility it could go through the sides. But that said, this has been in and out of the sheath quite a lot, so the least over the last few weeks, and it's been very, very good, and I've had no issues with it. I think that the overall design of the sheath does help with that. I think it's very, very good. The belt loop, the dangler, possibly not as good. I think that needs to be a little bit better thought out. But overall, for $39, not half bad. In fact, this is probably more the price point that I think more should be looking at. So yeah, not bad. So the Beavercraft BSH3 Bushcraft knife, excellent bit of kit. Beavercraft, I know you're going to be watching this. Here's a little offer for you. If you want a bushcraft knife designing with an ambidextrous sheath design, etc, etc, I would be more than happy to put one together that's set up for doing the woodcraft side of things. What I think you've actually designed here is a cracking general purpose outdoor knife for a sensible amount of money, and I think Maura could probably learn a lot from you guys. Thank you very much for sending this to me. It's been, yeah, a pretty good bit of kit, and I think it's definitely a keeper, and I would heartily recommend it to anybody out there that's in the market for a sensibly priced, good general purpose outdoor knife. I think this will give something like the Garberg a run for its money, and to be honest, it looks a little bit more bushcraft than the Garberg. So yeah, very, very good bit of kit. Now, if you enjoyed this video, and I hope you did, then remember, hit this that thumbs up button. If you haven't already, like and subscribe to my channel. Down below in the description box you will find a link to this bit of kit. You will also find some other links over to my social media, so Instagram, Facebook, etc. Pop over there, give me a follow over there too. There's also a link to my Etsy shop, and if you pop over there you'll find things like my little Greencraft patch, and also just about to put up some stoves on there as well, some of my little stealth stoves. So pop over there, have a look at that. Now, keep your eye on the channel because I've got a couple of other bits coming up. I've got another couple of knife reviews coming up as well, and I've also got an army surplus bushcraft bargain that you are not going to want to miss, because this is an excellent bit of kit. It was something that I had years ago, and I've found a supply of them again, and you are absolutely going to love them. So keep your eyes on the channel. I've been Neil. Until next time, stay safe in the woods.